All right, I'm going to ink for the evening. Hope everybody's having a great weekend. Come and go as you please. I'm going to have a nice time and enjoy myself. These figures got me.
This Labor Day weekend, visit Guitar Center.
Oh, commercials.
Used vintage gear. Shop safely in store with helpful expert staff, or get what you need at GuitarCenter.com with curbside.
Why would anyone do drugs when they could just mow a lawn? Why would anyone do drugs when they could just mow along? Why would anyone do drugs when they could just mow along? Why would anyone do drugs when they could just mow along? Why would anyone do drugs when they could just mow along?
Oh, these are all short songs. I need long songs. I'm limited to Akira's channel because he's given me permission to use his music. Let's find something else. No. That's not it. We'll find something good. All right. I don't think I've listened to this one.
Akira. In exploring the theme of the web of life, I have thus far discussed two principal topics. First, the web considered as selectivity. Experience considered as what we pay attention to on the one hand and what we ignore on the other. And I showed how the way in which we pay attention to the world creates, isolates, that we call particular things, events, and persons, and they seem to be disconnected and to be alone because we ignore the connection between them. And I used the analogy of weaving, where the threads go underneath and join on the back in a way that is not seen on the front. So you might say in the unconscious, although I don't particularly like that word because it makes it seem as if it was something rather dead. But on the unconscious side of life, as on the back of the weaving or the back of the embroidery, there are connections which are not published. There are connections which are not published. discussed the way the existence of a web, the existence of cloth, or anything like that, depends on a mutual support of the warmth and the roof. And this miraculous thing occurs that when the things support each other, being comes into being, cloth comes into being. And so in exactly the same way, our world is a manifestation of relativity. And this requires a balance, a combination, a relationship of opposites in every domain of life. And although these opposites are explicitly different and even antagonistic, they are implicitly one. Implicitly one. They are implicitly one. And that's the secret. There are connections which are not published. A relationship of opposites in every domain of life. There are connections which are not published. There are connections which are not published. A relationship of opposites in every domain of life. There are connections which are not published. They are implicitly one. And that's the secret. See, there are these two secrets that we went into. The connection between what are supposed to be separate things and events, and the mutual unity between what are manifestly, that is to say, openly, for purposes of publication, opposites. Now, I'm going to take two other aspects of the web. There are connections which are not published. A relationship of opposites in every domain of life. There are connections which are not published. There are connections which are not published. A relationship of opposites in every domain of life. There are connections which are not published. They are implicitly one. And that's the secret. The web is a trap, like the spider's web is a trap for flies. Also, the lovely embroideries are worn by women as traps for men, from a certain point of view. From a certain point of view. And I want to consider the web as something playful. You see, there are so many ways of looking at it. And you will find that all these ways are right. But what we need is the fullness of the view. From a certain point of view. Of the view. From a certain point of view. What we need is the fullness of the view. From a certain point of view. From a certain point of view. What we need is the fullness.
All right, this doesn't make
of
sense.
the view. From a certain point of view. From a certain point of view. What we need is the fullness of the view. From a certain point of view. From a certain point of view. What we need is the fullness of the view. From a certain point of view. From a certain point of view. There are people, for example, who can see the web as a trap and get stuck with that. There are people to whom existence is simply hateful. They see it as nothing but a ghastly mistake. The Lord really erred when he created this world, because he arranged it in such a way that everything lives by eating something else. And what I'm doing is I'm describing a certain point of view. From a certain point of view. I'm not exactly philosophizing, I'm describing a point of view. You can look at life in such a way that the whole thing is this ghastly mistake. For example, there is no such thing as genuine kindness or love. Everybody is really pretending that they're loving other people in order to get some advantage. And indeed, there is a point of view which occurs in certain forms of paranoia, where people don't seem to be real. They are mechanisms. And you can think that out quite intensely with a good deal of intelligence. After all, if you start from a good old Darwinian or Freudian basis and see that man is a material machine and that the consciousness of man is simply a very evolved and complicated form of chemistry, well, the awful mechanical things, these Frankenstein that everybody is, they come around and they say, oh, well, I'm alive. I'm a human being. I have a heart. I love, I hate, I have problems. I feel. And you feel like saying, you're just a monster. You put on the civilized act because really you're just a set of teeth on the end of a tube. What we need is the focus of the view from a certain point of view. From a certain point of view.
All right, I'm redoing this.
What we need is the focus of the view from a certain point of view. From a certain point of view. What we need is the focus of the view from a certain point of view. From a certain point of view. What we need is the focus of the view from a certain point of view. From a certain point of view.
Okay, we got a few people in here. So, inking page from Red Rooster, episode 3. Somewhat spoiler free. So, I'm trying not to spoil anything, but there's lots of spoilers in episode 3 for Red Rooster Golden Age backers because it's the climax of the whole story. So yeah, hope you're enjoying it. Let me know if you like this kind of stuff, because I like drawing for people. It's a lot of fun. And when I'm under less pressure, I'll do it more often and in shorter bursts, and we'll draw more fun things. Another thing I want to do is order a whiteboard for back here and maybe do some art lessons. It's one thing I'm thinking about. I've got a lot of ideas. Just to engage people with short little videos. What else? Man, I feel like I wanted to talk to you guys about something. Oh, this page. This page was brutal. So I went through several versions. Here, I'll put it back up right. Yeah, so this went through just to, tell you a little bit about what the process is like. So I went through and laid out every page for Red Rooster issue 3 before I inked a single one, and did it pretty detailed. You can look on my Facebook page. There's lots of layouts. I posted one yesterday that's a particularly nice layout. Very happy. The book is going to be great. So I know where all the little pieces go and how it all works, and anyway, I know we're going to stick the landing. I know it's good. I know the pages are going to turn out nice because I got it all broken down. Now I'm just sort of executing. But this first page, this is page 1, and I've doubled back. I'm not just drawing page 1, but issue 3 will be 26 pages long. I've got a few under my belt, and I've doubled back to page 1 because it just wasn't quite right. So I spent a couple of days at least redesigning this page. So it's just I got to get it right. This is page 1 of issue 3 and the climax of the whole book. So anyways, I put the hours in and finally got a layout that I'm really happy with. You'd be surprised how difficult it is to draw a burning building. It is pretty hard, actually, because you got to draw the building or conceptualize the structure as it normally exists. And then you've got to convincingly create chaos or fire and flame and all that stuff within the structure. So it looks like the structure is falling in on itself. And that's, it's easier said than done, that's for sure. And it has to look like the rooster's lair. Nick B asks me, this is the point of the conversation. If you want to ask me questions, fire away, because I'm going to take a few minutes. Nick B asks, which software? This is Photoshop, and I am drawing on a Wacom Cintiq 27-inch. Handlebar Bear says, who is Tesla? So I've got a little panel here. This is a little Easter egg for Red Rooster fans. The headline reads, Tesla helps Rooster 4D man busted. Madman's crime spree ends without violence. And there's a little picture of Red Rooster shaking the hands of someone named Tesla. That is Elon Musk's great-grandfather, by the way. Elon Musk's great-grandfather. That is who Tesla is. Bet you didn't know that. All right. In other news, let's see. What else is going on? Yeah, we're making a lot of really great books. We bumped our deadline. We bumped the book, the episode 3 books hit Walmart stands in early November. We took a brief pause just to get ahead. Eventually, even though we launched in May in the height of the COVID, the full swing of COVID, and at the time, we were the only comic book publishing company with distribution, period. So for a few weeks, we were the only company with new comic books, and that was pretty interesting. But after a while, these things just sort of take their toll, and it slowed down our merchandisers quite a bit. In-store traffic was much slower than normal for Walmart. But for us, it's been fine. We're business is good. We're selling comic books. The comic books are very good, and I'm very happy with the fan response and critical response. Customer and critical response has been excellent, and I didn't expect anything otherwise. We poured our heart and souls into all these projects. What else? What else is new? Oh yeah, so but we'll be ahead when we hit on in early November, and that's going to give us an extra month and a half or so to work out the kinks in our merchandising. So I mean, this is all sort of inside baseball stuff, but we have there have been, we're launched in 3,384 Walmart stores. So that is twice basically the number of comic book shops that Marvel and DC distribute into. So tall order, it's a mixed bag in a lot of ways. Our distributor into Walmart uses third-party merchandisers, and some of them are really good and are really on point, and others are less reliable. So mileage varies from store to store. So it was sort of a given that launching into Walmart, you weren't going to get that hands-on concierge experience that you get at a comic book store, which is a wonderful experience. But we just have a bit of a different tact for it. But we're going to work that out. We're also working very hard on our online store. So we also launched on Walmart.com, and our listings were perfect for a few weeks. And in fact, the online Walmart.com sales were so good out of the gate that our distributor, our partners they actually upped the order for issue 2 or for episode 2. But unfortunately, it's been pretty foobar ever since. Our images have been lost. The search terms are not very good, and a lot of our information was overridden or deleted. And we have had a lot of trouble getting to the bottom of it. But the good news is, if we've brought on an expert as a contractor who can get to the bottom of this, who has a lot of experience dealing with .com and Walmart.com and specifically. So we pulled out the big guns, and we're going to get that resolved and get our listings fixed. And so you guys have the absolute best in-store and online shopping experiences that you can. Eric brings up the other issue that we're working to resolve. Eric S. says, my Walmart is still putting price stickers on all the books. So let me address that, because that is a booger bear for everybody. So Walmart doesn't put the stickers on the books. It's the distributor. So our distributor has 5 warehouses, and when we launched our comic books into Walmart, they were perfect. Like almost everything was absolutely perfect, and we worked so hard on them. And then when we saw stickers on the cover, woo, we were hot. We were hot. We printed over 120,000 comic books, and almost all of them got stickers on them, except for the online ones. They did not get stickered. And so I think 4 out of every 5 books got a sticker on them. It was crazy and not fun. We immediately called our distributor. I haven't had stickers on any of mine. Then you must be from the Midwest. Let me guess, you're from Ohio or Indiana or somewhere nearby. Because the Indiana or Ohio distribution center did not apply the stickers to the books. They're doing really well. So basically the way it works is our distributor, which is a huge company, 1 out of every 3 books sold in the United States has been distributed by our distributor, which is awesome. Meaning they're a great partner, and we have the ability to expand far beyond Walmart. Walmart just happens to be their largest client. But the sheer amount of volume means that every book, if you go to Walmart in the book section, every book at Walmart has a sticker on it, almost every single one. So it's automatic. It is absolutely like automatic, and we didn't expect it, and sort of no one anticipated it. So we reached out to them. They sent out a memo for episode 2, and some of the distribution centers picked up the memo, and others did not, unfortunately. So it's just a matter of changing a process for a relatively small company. These people, they work with very large publishers, and they've taken on our comic books, which is awesome. But we can't. We're trying to, put in a request in a very large system, and we're not the biggest fish, at least not yet. So it was a little better with episode 2, but for episode 3, we're also putting in the same request for no stickers to each of the distribution centers, but we're going to take some extra measures, including putting we're going to have our printer put flyers in all the boxes that are shipped to the warehouses that say no stickers on comic books, in like yellow paper with red ink. I mean, it's going to be loud, and hopefully that will mitigate any more stickering issues. But that's really, short of shrink wrapping every 10 books to the cost of like $5,000, there's really no other solution. So we're going to try the sticker. We're going to try the warning label in the box tacked and see if that gets us any better traction. But that's really the issue with the stickers. So, but we are working really hard on that. So that's another issue that we are taking just a brief pause to resolve. Eric Hawkins, yeah, he's talking about our online issues. So you have to search ReaderLink, which is confounding because no one's ever heard of ReaderLink, even though they're a big company. Plus the title to find them on Walmart's website. Yes, it's incredibly frustrating. So we have hired a literal SEO ninja. I mean, it is a killer group that we're hoping can really deliver for us and get this fixed. They have a lot of great relationships with the Walmart.com people and a lot of technical expertise in doing this. And so we are pulling out the big guns, Eric, in order to resolve these issues. And it certainly has been frustrating for our customers and for us, and even for our distributor who it's just a bit of a tangled web, I suppose. But we're working it out, and we want everyone to have a great experience. If you want to buy the books on Walmart.com, the best thing you can do right now is go to allegiancearts.com, which is our website, and on the homepage at the very top, there'll be a direct link to all our books on Walmart.com, and that's a really convenient way to get there. So we will get that fixed, and we're working very hard at it. No stickers, great idea. Yeah, so it certainly wasn't my idea, but we're doing what we can to fix it. Okay, Gigadeath asks, Mitch, can you describe the type of paper stock you're using for the books? I love the texture of them. I can tell you an interesting story about Sabotage. So we didn't know that much about paper before this process, but now I feel like I know everything about paper. And I hope that, I feel like the quality is shining through. For all our books, we took extra care in design and craftsmanship and story and pretty much everything, all the way down to paper quality. And we talked to several printers and got several samples, asked around, figured out what, I pretty much know where everybody's printing now, like Image, DC, Marvel, etc. But I don't know the brand of our paper, but it's 70-pound paper, and our printer is in Quebec, Canada. Now, most comic books are printed on 60-pound paper. Almost all of our Image comic books that Elizabeth and I worked on in the past were printed on 60-pound paper, and it's pretty good. But these books were going to sit on the shelves at Walmart. We wanted them to feel really nice in your hands, and we also wanted them not to feel fragile. Like, the whole concept I have is these books live on your coffee table. These books are alive. You bag and board them if you want, but I want these books to be out. Like, they should be on your side table or on your coffee table or just wherever. So when your friends come over or your nieces and nephews come over, then they're great conversation pieces. So one of our investors keeps a set of them on his coffee table, and he was telling us a story the other day about some really interesting business guys came into his office, and they really gravitated to him, and they had this nice long conversation about it, and he just related to it, that conversation to us, and he was super happy about it, because this thing that he had invested in and believed in was just a great conversation starter and helped break the ice on a business deal he was working on, and that's like sort of the vision, is like these are things to be shared. So we wanted them to be able to hold up not only on Walmart shelves, but in your households as well. So it's 70-pound paper. That's typically what you'd see in a graphic novel from one of the bigger companies. Now, DC, some of the bigger publishers have started using even cheaper paper, which is 55 or 50-pound paper. And I have an interesting story. We asked someone who used to be very nice and friendly, and then for some reason is not nice or friendly to us anymore, but is an expert on comic books. So we wrote that person asking for a favor and just said, hey, what kind of paper are you using? And we want to, kind of achieve something in similar quality. They told us, and I won't tell you the name, but I'll let you guess. I'll never give it up. They told us that they used 45-pound paper, and that's what they were printing on. And it was, we're not using 45-pound paper. 45-pound paper is just like toilet paper or tissue paper. It's terrible. It would never, what we're printing on is almost twice as thick. Anyway, but that's a great question. And now you've got me got me talking off the subject here on paper, something that I feel very passionate about now, but knew nothing about 10 months ago. All right. Yeah, so Eric says none of the ones I got from Walmart's website had stickers. That's correct. So the ones that go to Walmart.com do not have stickers on them at all. And so that's what we've been doing. Oh, but Walmart also sent me a Dr. Seuss book that I didn't order. That's funny. Well, anyway, that's cool. I like Dr. Seuss. If you've got something on a shelf at Walmart, durability is a very good idea. Yeah, that was the thought process. Plus, we want kids to pick these books up. There was early on, there was talk of bagging and boarding the books for the shelf, or just putting them in plastic and sealing them up like a shrink wrap. But I was always against that idea because these are tactile. The comic book is a full body experience. You pick it up, and then there's you feel it. It has to feel great in your hand. It has to look great on the shelf. It has to smell great when you open it up, and that we've achieved. I love the way that our paper pulp smells. So and then it sort of just you get into it, and then it just sets your imagination on fire, and then you fall in love with the characters, and then you associate the feel and the smell and the excitement with your passion for the stories and the characters that you're getting engrossed in. And I really took a full experience approach from the just top down, often the display to the comic book to the website to the smell of it and the look of it, the feel of it. I wanted to craft a full experience for as much as I could. So I'm glad to hear that has been pretty successful, judging by your comments. Any plans for collected editions, hardcover or otherwise? All right, let me run this plan by all of you. All right, so this is what we've been talking about. Yes, we are going to do collected editions, hardcovers, and everything. So that has been in our business plan from the very beginning. So we'll bundle these in a number of different ways for different kinds of readers and different kinds of customers. So let me just I'll run an experiment by you, and you guys can kick this back to me. All right, so we're going to take, instead of most trades that you see, trade paperback or graphic novel trade paperbacks, are 4 to 6 issues. We are thinking about doing them every 3 in smaller volumes at a little bit of a cheaper price. So every 3, and our issues are longer than the traditional comic book. They're 22 minimum and 24 to 26 maximum. So each episode is just a little bit, you're getting more in our books than our competitors, which are usually at 20 pages. We wanted to go back up to 22. Writing a 20-page comic book is really hard. Writing a 22-page comic book is hard enough, but 20 pages, I feel like you don't get anything in it. So 22 to 26 pages are the length of our books. And so we're thinking about creating a 3-issue collected trade paperback. And we're going to call them maybe graphic digests or something like that, which I think will be just a slightly cheaper price point, targeted towards the young adult market, and a very nice, cohesive, kind of in a unified design scheme across all the Allegiance titles. So that's what we're thinking about doing. And that way we can pump more of these out a little bit more often. That means you'd get a volume of collections twice a year from each title. We're changing a lot of things that were kind of standard because we had this unique opportunity to sort of reconceptualize a little bit about what a comic book actually is. We've just taken some liberties to run some experiments, and so far they've been very successful. So no reason to change that. So, but ultimately we'll get to hardcovers. So maybe we're thinking once we get to 6 issues, so an entire season will be bundled together in a hardcover, probably oversized. So if you've been a massive fan, let's say of Nora's Saga, and you mind buying the comic books, you don't really have a reason to buy the trade paperback. The trade paperback, the 3-issue trade paperback, which will clock in around 70 pages, will be for the commuter customer, the customer who just, wants to save a little bit money per page, who prefers shopping on Amazon because that's just what they're used to, or maybe they just like that format. Maybe they, for whatever reason, that's the format that they like. But when we get to the hardcover, the full season of, let's say, Nora's Saga Season 1, then we will, the plan is to bundle that as a hardcover in a really nice design, maybe make it a little oversized, because we think that people that bought the comic books might want to have like the premier special hardcover version for their bookshelves. But that's our plan. You guys can kick that around and let me know what you think. Well, we got one fan for that. Yeah, sounds like a good idea. So we'll do trades and hardcovers, but try to present them in a way that's unique for the type of customer that's after that type of product. Can we get an Allegiance Arts comic stand? Well, you kind of have. We have our displays. We have our display in Walmart. Some of the Walmarts took down the displays. Some of them never made it up. We're talking about printing a few hundred more to recirculate to the stores that didn't get them merchandised quite correctly. Hammer of Doom, will your backers get their books before you put out the last book to Walmart? Yes, they will. Well, yes and maybe no, because I'm shipping through 3,000 books like from my house. So we'll be hiring some people and getting a team together to do that, but not all the books will go out on day one. So there will be other backers that have requested original art that some of it will get triaged. That's what I'm saying. International backers will probably be bringing up the rear, and those that paid for more expensive commissions to go with their books. Those will take me a little bit longer to get out, but primarily, yes, the bulk of the backers, yes, will be receiving their books. We'll be fulfilling before the books hit the stands. We have fulfillment items in hand right now. I've got my posters. Let me grab a poster. Yeah, so we've already begun ordering fulfillment items. I think everybody's gonna be very happy. We have a couple extra surprises for everyone. That is the Kapow Cola Girl commercial poster. Kapow Cola Girl. That is for I think for the the second lowest tier. So backers that bought into the second tier will get one of those. How do I ask a question on this old FB? Not sure about that one. Which book am I most proud of so far? My rank is Red Rooster, Nora's Saga, The Futurist, and then Bass, but all are good. Well, it would not exactly be fair. I mean, of course, I am partial to Red Rooster because it is, because I take ownership of it. It's my story. pretty much, brought on some help and some advisors to help get all the way through it, but I guided and directed the whole process, and it was my vision and my baby. So I'm pretty proud of it. But it would be I don't think I could pick a favorite. It's like saying, which of my two cats do I like the best? So, but they're all very good books. I'm extremely honored to be working with some amazing talent on these projects, for sure. So yeah, I can't really pick a favorite. You guys will have to tell me. And we kind of watch sales. The books are tracking all pretty close. So there's a clear couple of titles that are in the lead, but it's only by a few percent. And so we like seeing that. That means all the books are performing, pretty much within the margin of error of each other, which is really, really nice. At least put my hot wife on camera. She is at Target, and she's a little camera shy, unfortunately. I like the oversized editions like Fatale or Criminal, maybe with a sketchbook section. Yeah, that would be really cool. Yeah, that's the idea. So when we get to hardcover, it's truly special, a truly special thing, and it's got all kinds of extra content hasn't been seen before. Maybe creator interviews or something. I don't know. We want to go all out on the hardcover editions. All right, looks like I've covered all the questions. All right, well, I'm gonna get back to it. Thanks for bearing with me. Oh, another big thing. Elizabeth and I says this is a. Oh man, we had a crazy month last month. Crazy, and I can't tell you exactly how crazy it was, but maybe in time. But it slowed the drawing down quite a bit, but it was all for business, and it's all good. Ultimately, it's all good. But also, Elizabeth and I brought in another investor into the company, and it's not a small investor, so it's a relationship that we've cultivated over the last year and a half. A gentleman who helped get all this rolling for us, and has been giving us some advice along the way. Well, he, been watching our sales and watching what Elizabeth and I and the team have been doing, and the response to the books. And he came in to the company last month, about a month ago, and it's a big deal for Elizabeth and myself. Was our largest investment to date in the company, and Elizabeth and I did this on our own, and it's like one of these things. It's like you've kind of arrived kind of moments, and it means great things for the future of our books and for the company and for the great talent that we get to work alongside. It really is a putting a lot of wind beneath our sails. We're able to do a lot more with marketing and engaging. We're just going to be able to do a lot more, and this person's helping us on more than just financially. They're digging in and connecting us with great relationships and good people and all the things that will help take a startup publishing company and make it a serious contender in the realm of comic book publishing in the years to come. So it's very exciting. So I thought I'd share that news with all of you, since that's definitely been some of our biggest news lately. Is Kelsey coloring Red Rooster 3? No, but Kelsey is tweaking some of my. He's helping me tighten up some of my layouts. So is doing that, which is awesome. Kelsey and I are very much like in sync on the drawing. So I can ink Kelsey and he can like sketch over my work, and it's been pretty awesome. But Elizabeth will be coloring Red Rooster 3. And she's the one, she colored Red Rooster 1 and 2. I love, I can't wait to get into it. I'm going to write, I know where the book is going. I actually know where it ends. I know where the next few issues kind of go, and I know where the book ends, and then the stuff around the end of Act 2 and Act 3 are a little fuzzy. But I will probably be taking over the writing of Red Rooster, more than likely in the future, and finding a fabulous artist to take over. At least I might actually use a rotating set of artists and write for them, and I might come in and draw 3 issues down the line, and then just have every 3 issues a guest that comes in. I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to handle it, but I obviously can't draw a book full time and be the CEO of a publishing company, which it turns out I actually have a pretty good knack for. So, and I actually love doing this. I love the messaging, I love bringing people to the dance. I love getting into the boardroom. I love selling the passion and vision for all these comic books, and that will eclipse all of my drawing and illustration duties in the future, which is unfortunate, but I'm okay with it. I've certainly made my peace. Other artists are like, how could you? I could never sell out and be the man, but somebody's got to do it, and I really enjoy doing it. I love marketing these books because I love the books, and I'm really passionate about story, and I love kind of having my fingers in all parts of the process. So that's all right. So we got a Kelsey question. This person really wants to know about Kelsey. Is Kelsey really as nice as he seems? Kelsey is the cuddliest swamp monster you will ever meet. So he is indeed a very gentle soul 99% of the time. All right. Thank you, Jose. You missed the campaign. We'll buy them when they're available. Well, the books are available at Walmart. AllegianceArts.com. I think I put the link in the title. So you can hit AllegianceArts.com and you can pick them up out of Walmart. You can check your location on our website, but you can also order them on Walmart.com from our website. Just hit the link right on our homepage. Thank you, Will. It was nice to meet you too. Thanks for dropping in. All right, what else did I miss? This is my cousin. I look tired. I'm not tired. I'm not tired, actually. I don't know why I look tired. I feel pretty good. We've been eating well and getting plenty of rest. Just a little stressed out about the next 3 or 4 weeks are going to be real tricky for us because we got to pull together all the art and all the fulfillment things and then get this book out of the door. We got, like I said, we got a couple surprises we're cooking up too. So backers that backed Red Rooster, our job is to make all our customers extremely happy and exceed expectations when they receive their products. So if that includes the books on the Walmart stands, I want them to be the best comic books you can buy. And the same goes for Red Rooster fulfillment. I am petting my cat, by the way. He jumped in my lap. Not myself. So yeah, I just want everyone to have an amazing experience when they get this book in the mail. And we're working very hard towards that. Tell us the 1% when Kelsey is not a nice guy. I'm trying to think. Actually, I was just giving him a 1% out. I really don't have any negative Kelsey stories to share. He's always been really cool. Except no, the 1%. The 1% is when he goes on walkabout, and he knows about this. Kelsey will just disappear. He just disappears, and I get it. I'm an artist. Sometimes it gets a little overwhelming. Like, I didn't check my email for a week. And I didn't tell my COO. I'm just like, that was about 2 weeks ago. I just had to have a break. And I was just like, I'm out. If you want me, you can call me. But I didn't tell anybody. I just didn't open my email for a week. And then I missed all these messages. And he's like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm taking an email vacation, bro. I've got to I need some R&R. But Kelsey goes on walkabout and doesn't answer his phone or check his email or contact anyone for sometimes weeks at a time. And it made us really nervous the first couple of times this happens. And then now it's like, I've learned to trust that when he's on walkabout, he's actually at his desk working on comic books. So he always comes through for us, even if he makes us chew our fingernails out in the process. Thank you, Rainbolt, for throwing the link in the chat. Yeah, if you haven't done so, get over at allegiancearts.com. Sign up for our mailing list so you'll know when we have new releases and new titles coming out, or any other kind of major updates that we want to share. We are getting ready to do a big Bass Reeves push. We're creating a Bass Reeves press release. I'm going to put it on the PR Newswire, so you'll be the first to know about things like that and all that kind of stuff. So head on over there and let us know what you think. Thanks, Brett. Nice of you to pop in. Someone else asked me, oh yeah, here's another one. Esoteric asked, are any new titles going to be added in the near future? I'll let Hamburger answer that question. What do you say about that one? Hamburger? You heard it from the man himself. Oh, man. All right, down you go. All right, so there's your answer. I guess that's about it. People come in when I'm talking. It's pretty weird. I was drawing earlier. We had like 15 people. Now we've got 42. But that's cool. I mean, it's a lot more interesting to talk to somebody than it is to kind of watch a drawing take place, which is very slow and tedious. But speaking of slow and tedious, that is what I am going to get back to. So anyway, I appreciate all of you for dropping in and listening to this little update impromptu. But if you want to stick around, I'm going to draw and ink this page, which I have to do, so to get this book done. So enjoy yourselves, have fun, and I'll probably mostly ignore the chat and stay focused on my work. But I'm going to play some great music from Akira the Don. All right. Thanks, everybody. I hope you all had having a wonderful Labor Day weekend. Here we go.
Into the pattern of your skeleton, your muscles, and your nervous system. That's a pattern. And you say you see basically erase for that pattern. That's a pattern. And you say you see basically erase for that pattern. But then you want other patterns. You like to look through a microscope and see the patterns that exist in the small world. And see the patterns. You like to look through a kaleidoscope or a kaleidoscope and see the patterns. You like to have paintings around and see the patterns. You like to watch the water play and see the patterns. You like to watch the birds go and clouds and all that. Fascinating patterns. And that really doesn't it seem to be the point? I mean, what do you do when you're very rich? Take some rascal of ancient times who became very rich by all sorts of skullduggery and warfare and so on. He got himself a suit of armor, a beautiful sword. And he had the armorer make the most intricate patterns, arabesques of inlaid gold on the steel. Why? Because it's, as they say among the Pennsylvania Dutch, it's for nice. It's a great thing to have all that jazz. And that's what we go for. That's a pattern. And you say you see basically parade for that pattern. That's a pattern. And you say you see basically parade for that pattern. But then you want other patterns. You like to look through a microscope and see the patterns that exist in the small world. And see that. You like to look through a kaleidoscope or a kaleidoscope and see that. You like to have paintings around and see the patterns. You like to watch the water play and see the patterns. You want to watch the birds go and clouds and all that. Fascinating patterns, certainly. People do. Most of the time. What would they like to do, really? What should I do? What should I do? What people do. Most of the time. What would they like to do, really? What should I do? What should I do? When people are unoccupied, as far as I can make out, they get together and they sing and dance, or else watch somebody else do it. Nowadays, we live in a non-participative culture, and we don't do very much singing and dancing. We're lugubrious, but we watch other people do it on television. What we really are interested in is to be able to spend all the time going, think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it, think about it. You know the method. And that's what our heart's doing, that's what our lungs are doing, that's what our eyeballs are doing, and it's what all these fantastic capillaries of the veins are doing. They're going just judy-goody, party, you see? And that's the point. Now the thing is, ought this to be allowed? You know, dare we admit it? What should I do? What should I do?
This page is so complicated.
Because
Well, I changed it significantly.
we've been brought up to see in a cultural context in which the universe is presided over.
I know what I was trying to let go.
It's only very, very occasional obscure references in the Jewish and Christian scriptures to the idea that God dances. Of course, if Hindus, they know Shiva dances, and all the gods dance. They're represented in the dance. But in our way of looking at things, no. Jack, deep down in there is something that you must respect. Not in church, especially if you got in front of the throne of heaven. Everybody would be dead silent. Wow, you see, I mean, that's really serious. Here is the Father Almighty God without end. And you watch out. Don't you? Why not? The Father Almighty God without end is a very insecure fellow. If anybody laughs, he might feel uneasy, you know. Something wrong going to happen. Someone challenged his power.
That's really weird. Someone said that I should put my hot Wi-Fi on camera. Yeah. He is a funny fellow, you see, as we mythologize ultimate reality in the form of this cosmic grandpapa, who is also a king and is demanding above all things reverence and respect. So it's difficult for us, because of that cultural heritage, to accept, to accommodate our common sense to the idea that the web might basically be playful. That it might be like somebody saying, won't you come and play with me? A child. And the other child has some hesitation. I don't know whether I ought to play with you if you come from the wrong side of the track. I don't feel like playing today. I feel serious. I don't think play is important. We ought to do something real, like wash the dishes for mother, who, incidentally, has forgotten that the whole point of washing the dishes is playful. Arranging the passions of life. For nice. Arranging the passions of life. Arranging the passions of life for nice. You don't wash the dishes for a serious reason. You like the table to look nice, you know. You don't want to serve up the dishes for dinner with all the leavings of breakfast still lying on them. So why do you want the table to look nice? Well, again, it's for nice. You like the pattern of it that way. People get terribly compulsive about doing these things.
And they think that going on arranging the patterns of life is something that's a beauty. That means the debt that you owe it to yourself or to your family or to someone or other. You're in debt. See, that's the trouble. When a child comes into the world, the parents play an awful game on it. Instead of being honest, they say, we've made such great sacrifices for you. Here we are, we've supported you, we've paid for your education, and you're an ungrateful little bastard. And the child feels terribly guilty because what we do is we build into every human being the idea that existence is guilt. Arranging the passions of life. Arranging the passions of life. Arranging the passions of life. The existentialists make a big thing of this. You watch out for them, because they're hoaxes. And they say that guilt is ontological. If you're not feeling guilty, you're not human. That was because Papa and Mama said, look at all the trouble you've caused us. You shouldn't dare to exist. You have no rights, but maybe we'll give you some out of the generosity of our hearts so that you'll be permanently indebted to us. And so everybody goes around with that sort of thing in their background unless they have different kinds of Papas and Mamas.
Foreshortening is crazy.
Somebody else does it. And he comes and says, you don't realize
Hard enough to draw.
You think you know you can just stay around here and goof off, but they've sweated blood to give you your clothes and food and so on, and you ought to be grateful for it. But that's not the way to make people grateful. They won't be grateful that way. They'll imitate gratefulness. They'll put on a big show and say, oh, thank you so much. I feel so indebted to you, and so on and so forth. And they'll make it look good. But it's
I want to do a whole series on foreshortening because it's tricky.
because actually,
I know the shortcuts, but even once you
compose it,
we hope they did. And they wanted to do that the worst way. They have no reason to complain
using
about
all
these
the
things and try and make the children feel guilty.
mechanical tools at your disposal, it still warps your mind, and it's hard to like think. The mind continually wants to flatten out an image so that it becomes a symbol, and you've got to constantly fight that part of your brain. And when you add foreshortening to a drawing like that, it's like it just adds that another layer of complexity to creating a realistic line drawing. It's tricky. There we go.
It is an amazing thing in our culture. Everybody is afflicted with ontological guilt. For example, if a policeman comes to the door, everybody is instantly frightened. You wonder, what on earth have I done? And there are certain clergy who are absolute experts in making you feel guilty. They are really marvelous. And there are clergy of all kinds, for all castes, and for all levels of intelligence. And they can make you feel real guilty. I mean, you have to watch always what games people play. You have to watch always what games people play. You have to watch always what games people play. You have to watch always what games people play. Now you see that
That's actually pretty wise advice.
they don't admit they're playing games. And when a person is playing games,
People tried to play games with us.
then you have some kind of
Especially when you got just a little bit of power
this is really being
or influence. And then it's like, holy fuck. All right, let me.
Now, of course, the game, that this game is not a game, has a certain
That's why I like this. I like Akira's music because he mixes all these, he dubs all these interesting things into it. So I've had the unique privilege to, Elizabeth and I have had the unique privilege over the last couple of years to meet 1, 2, 3, I think at least 4 billionaires, or those that are closely or within the family of billionaires. 4 or 5. Or people that are very close to that amount of money. And the interesting thing about it, they're all really super cool, for one. Very smart people. But they have to always watch what games people are playing. Their guard is always up. It's I feel bad for them in some ways. They keep a very close circle of friends, and I certainly see why. Anyway, just the song lyric reminded me about that. And what's interesting is that we become friends with some of them, and and you see why. You see why they keep their circles very small. It makes a lot of sense, and you're just being confided in by them. Just, I don't know where I'm taking this, but it's a thing that I didn't quite fully understand, but to be in that position is pretty. You have to be really, really guarded, because they're all very decent. They're all really good people. They're all really, really good people, and they could easily be taken advantage of. So they take a lot of extra caution in curating their very small circle of associates and friends. And then they're always on the lookout for things that betray that kind of trust. I think they get burned quite a bit. Anyway, it's just an interesting. The song lyric reminded me of that. Anyway, I'm sort of getting way off topic. Maybe back to drawing.
It isn't about anything except as I conceive my work as a philosopher, I'm simply pointing out that existence is the same kind of a thing as the fog invention. It's going this way and that way, and still more that's going the fish are going around in it, breeding, and the ducks are. And that's the same thing as So, if you can admit that that's what it's all about, you have a little problem. Because it's not only the threat that it really might be serious and that you shouldn't be laughing about it, but it's also a kind of opposite. Then are you saying it's merely just fiddling around? I mean, you think it's only a game? Is that all there is to it? What do you think? You see, this again is a killer. That everybody has to think things through. What did you want? Didn't you want a game? Did you want it to be serious in the end? I mean, think about the question. What kind of a thing would you like God to be? What would you like to do for eternity?
All right, fans of the striped shorts. I'm sorry, the striped pants. Striped pants fans. This is your page. So if you are a fan of the striped pants Red Rooster, remember this scene. I have carefully laid some Easter eggs.
Akira. Stone. He's going. Here is Jan van Eyck. Thanks. The eschatological picture of the lost country. What a strange man he used to be. Here is heaven above and hell below. And in heaven, here's God the Father, God the Son, God the Holy Ghost, all there together, and Virgin Mary, and the apostles. And they're all sitting in hymn. And they have an aisle, just like in church, they are facing each other, and they're all sitting there. It's very solitary. I don't know what it's about. I don't know what it's about. Right at the end of the aisle, you see, where always the apostle was sitting, is St. Michael. A rather gorgeous figure, beautiful armor, the wings. And underneath him is a bat-winged star. And beneath those bat-wings are all horror is let loose.
He's talking about Hieronymus Bosch.
See what it's called.
If you don't know who that is, Google it.
Huge bodies, some of them pretty comely. They're all squirming in there, and they're being eaten by worms. What's it about? What's it about? And they're eating the worms. And there's a kind of a mush. It's like the sort of situation you find when you turn up a big rock. There's all that going on underneath. Now, there's no question whatever that Van Eyck painted.
Oh, Van Eyck, not Hieronymus Bosch.
Painting that part of the picture, that he did painting the top part. So in the same way with the great Hieronymus Bosch,
Oh, there he goes. Now he's talking about Hieronymus Bosch.
they painted every kind of real surrealistic poetry going on.
Kelsey and I were talking the other day about doing like an art. Well, we were talking about doing something called Allegiance Art School, where we take let's just do foreshortening as an example. So we do like a lesson on foreshortening for one of us would, and maybe we'd rotate lessons. And to kick off the lesson, we would focus on a piece of art history and an artist, like, for instance, the Caravaggio's famous Christ in the Tomb picture, which is really the most famous example of anatomy foreshortening. And we would talk about Caravaggio and do a big history, or an interesting short history about that, of the painting, and then get into the subject and the topic, which is teaching artists or young artists how to achieve realistic foreshortening. Anyway, it was we don't have any time to do this, mind you, so it's probably not going to happen, but it's one of the kinds of things we talk about doing, and it'd be a lot of fun to do. I think if they had closed all the schools this year, it might have changed the story on that. Like, that was really why I brought that up. If they were going to cancel all schools, then we would have a great opportunity to engage art students. But thankfully, most of the schools are back in session.
Now, DNA is like a necklace. There's different kinds of beads in it. And according to the order and the way those beads are arranged, so you get genes, and so you get a particular form of life that emerges from those genes. So what we're doing way down is saying, she loves me, she don't, she have me, she won't, she would if she could, but she can't. She loves me, she don't, she have me, she won't, she would if she could, but she can't. She loves me, she don't, she have me, she won't, she would if she could, but she can't. She loves me, she don't, she have me, she won't, she would if she could, but she can't. This is the way life is going on. She loves me, she don't, she have me, she won't, she would if she could, but she can't. She loves me, she don't, she have me, she won't, she would if she could, but she can't. She loves me, she don't, she have me, she won't, she would if she could, but she can't. This is the way life is going on. The question is then, see, in your heart of hearts, if you can take the attitude that all this is terrible, or that it's dreadfully serious. You see, you can play comedies, you can play tragedies, farces, histories, and romances, and all that kind of thing, and you can take these various attitudes to it. But if you are awakened, and as it were, you've been let into the secret, which is what we've been talking about, because the web is also the curtain, the veil which hides the face of God from the angels. See, there's always this veil. That's why we like to strip tease. Because there's an implication that you should never give the show completely away. There always should be a little bit of the veil left, you see. There always is. There always is. Because even if you find the striptease artist gets completely naked, there's really something hidden. What's the motivation? What sort of a person is she? Would I really like to embrace her? Or would she have bad breath? You never really know You never really get to the bottom. That's why everybody, all men, say that women are basically mysterious. And they ought to be. So are men basically mysterious. From women's point of view. Although they play that they're not. See, this is the way it goes. Men are supposed to be very open. And they say, well, at a certain situation, this is the way it is. Perfectly rational. No matter where. And women say, well, Shrika, I'm not quite as articulate as you are, but I know there's something you've left out, but I can't explain it. And by this means, everything is kept going. This is the way life is going on. This is the way life is going on. As a result, it becomes all this. What I'm saying is I think I'm trying to share with you a certain style of life and an attitude to life and an insight to life. I've taken you on one side and said, listen, kids, things aren't what they seem. Don't be fooled. Listen, kids, things aren't what they seem. Don't be fooled. Listen, kids, things aren't what they seem. Don't be fooled. There's a big deception going on. And you're involved in it, but I just thought you ought to know it. Terribly puzzled about the way people go out of their way to disenjoy themselves. Take so much trouble about it. And all around, you have only to look and you see this perfect passion for making the world look grisly. And it isn't only job builders and garage owners who do this kind of thing. It's also people who profess to be painters. They're actually using excrements for painting in Paris today, on the theory that the world is shot to pieces. Since the artist is a representative of his times, he ought to show the times as they really are as a social critic. So he makes the most weird. He paints Campbell's soup cans. And he makes music that shrieks and screams. He just goes out of his way to make it sound as ugly as he possibly can manage. And the ingenuity about that is endless. Because that is the time. This is see? Listen, kids. Things aren't what they seem. Don't be fooled. Listen, kids. Things aren't what they seem. Don't be fooled. Listen, kids, things aren't what they seem. Don't be fooled. There's a big deception going on. And you're involved in it, but I just thought you ought to know it. Let's take the character of the Pied Piper. The person who brings you an invitation to dance. I say then, you see, there is going to be a dance this evening, and I would like you all to come. That's the spirit in which I invite you to a seminar. I'm not inviting you in the spirit of saying, now, we've loaded up to discuss some very grave matters, and you ought to be awake to all these things and arouse your social confidence. When you get through with all that, then what? When you get through with all that, then what? When you get through with feeding the hungry and clothing the naked, and we are making great strides with automation and technology in abolishing poverty totally, then what are we going to do? Well, you see, if you've got all these people clothed and fed and so on, and then they say, well, now what next? If you've got a kind of Quakerish state of mind, you don't know what to do. Well, I'll treat and tell somebody else. Get busy. But then, where is that leading? Listen, kids. Things aren't what they seem. Don't be fooled. Listen, kids. Things aren't what they seem. Don't be fooled. Listen, kids. Things aren't what they seem. Don't be fooled. There's a big deception going on. And you're involved in it. But I just thought you ought to know it. Listen, kids. Things aren't what they seem. Don't be fooled. Listen, kids. Things aren't what they seem. Don't be fooled. Listen, kids. Things aren't what they seem. Don't be fooled. There's a big deception going on. And you're involved in it. But I just thought you ought to know it. He's got clout. To spread joy, you have to have it. To impart delight, you have to be more or less delightful. And to be delightful is not some factor of trying to make yourself look delightful. It is to do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. You become thereby delightful to others. It is to do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. You become thereby delightful to others. That's to say, people who are interesting are people who are interested. Any person, for example, who is constantly thinking about all sorts of other things and other people and so on, because they're fascinating, becomes a fascinating person.
It's good advice.
But a person who doesn't think about anybody else and who's got very little going on inside their skull is boring. So, in other words, your engagement with the external world, the more you are involved, the more your personality is enriched. Do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. You become thereby delightful to others. Do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. You become thereby delightful to others. But if you try to enrich your personality by taking a course in how to win friends and influence people, or how to be a real person, you'll become just a washout. You'll be like somebody who tried to get good nutrition by biting his nails, then the fingers next, and then half an arm gone and so on. You're entirely nourishing yourself with yourself. Now, of course, on a vast scale, the universe does that. It eats itself up. That's why the symbol of the snake swallowing its tail is so fundamental, archaic symbol of life. But the way it's done is that the snake has...
What do they call that symbol? I always forget about what that's called.
It's not sensitive.
Starts with an O.
Where it doesn't know that what comes to it in the form of food is actually what left it in the form of excrement. That thing is... Don't mention it. After all, as the Lord said at the beginning of the universe, you must draw the line somewhere. Do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. You become thereby delightful to others. Do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. Do things that are delightful to you. You become thereby delightful to others.
See a tiny truck? There is a tiny truck, and I am shocked at how well it came out. In the printed page, this will be smaller. How small will this be? Let's see.
As a result of there always being a kind of gap. That's the
Smaller
gap
than a dime.
The electric spark jump. That's the thing behind your head. Behind your
Anyway, I was surprised at how nicely it came out.
The gap. And because of that little gap, the circle doesn't just revolve in a dull way, just go round and round and round like a boring thing.
That's the level of quality we're delivering to you. Tiny trucks. All right. Elizabeth is in there working on dinner, so I'm going to go help and do my duty, earn my keep. And it's time for a break. This is finally starting to come together. I can kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel on this page. I got some technical work that has to get done here. But the general flow of it, I think I've cracked with this collapsing ceiling coming in on the anyway, I like how it's coming all together. It's deeply symbolic. If you've been following the Red Rooster story, I think you'll know. And if you haven't been, this should be a pretty gripping moment when you read it in the Golden Age graphic novel. When you get it here in hopefully soon. But yeah, I think we've managed to crack most of the problem areas so far. I got to draw a chair turned over and on fire. That's gonna be a little tricky, but all the big problems are solved here, and I think it works. It's a very successful page. All right, Sean has a question, or no? Yeah, he has a question. Sean has asked, "Am I burning the striped pants uniform?" To that, I say you'll have to stay tuned. You'll have to stay tuned. We will answer that question in a future issue, either issue 4 or 5. But you will see what happens. And with that, I'm going to go help create dinner. All right. So everybody have a wonderful evening. Thank you all for tuning in. Bye-bye.
But then if they want to start up a more interesting kind of business,